Good afternoon. I am Caleb Crick from Dixie Alley Weather Center here with a severe weather briefing, you could call it, on today's severe weather threat for parts of the Dixie Alley. So just give me a second while I get set up here, and I'll talk about, go a little bit in depth on what we are going to be seeing today across the Dixie Alley in terms of severe weather. So far, probably one of the biggest severe threats for parts of the Dixie Alley that we've seen in quite some time. We are starting to get into this fall weather pattern, where we are going to start seeing more of these severe weather events, more frequent severe weather events. So let's just get right into it, talking about our slight risk of severe weather. We've got a slight risk for severe weather, including many parts of the Western Dixie Alley, including even parts of out of the Dixie Alley, even parts of Arkansas, parts of Missouri, and even parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Ongoing right now, some severe weather that is the severe weather is starting to ramp up right now, and I'll get to the radar to show you what we are looking at right now, what the setup's looking like as we go throughout the day today. We do have a pretty robust tornado risk as well. You can see we have a 5% tornado risk, and it encompasses a pretty large area. Let me zoom this in for you here. 2% or 5% tornado risk that encompasses a pretty large area for parts of the Dixie Alley. That includes central and northern Louisiana, parts of most of central Mississippi, and even parts of northern Mississippi, including Memphis and parts of far western Tennessee. And then that 2% tornado risk extends way farther off to the east, including more of Tennessee, parts of Alabama, even parts of the panhandle of Florida. But we won't see that until early tomorrow morning, as we do expect this line of storms to continue late into the overnight and even into the early morning hours tomorrow, where we will continue to see that threat for some damaging winds and potential tornadoes. Not expecting a lot of large hail. I do expect that to come with those beginning supercells. This is the main factor, though, behind our risk is going to be, for our slight risk for severe weather, is going to be our wind risk. You can see we do have a very large 15% wind risk for today. That just means our main threat today is going to be winds, as we are going to be as we already have a large squall line that is starting to gain intensity and will eventually cause many severe thunderstorms to a lot of strong wind gusts along that line of thunderstorms. Some could exceed 60 miles per hour. Won't even rule out an isolated 70 mile per hour wind gust or greater with this storm initially as it moves off to the east, and that will continue late into the evening and overnight hours as it pushes into parts of Tennessee and Mississippi. I'll be tracking that for you as we go deeper into the day. If I need to provide another video for you to give you an update on what's going on, I will. I'll be posting updates on the channel in the post tab. Just continue to monitor that. I'll be posting live updates on what is going to be going on when we get tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings for certain areas, especially the populated areas. We got Jacksonville, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee under the gun for some severe weather over towards Shreveport, Louisiana. Getting that early, we're already starting to see some pop-up thunderstorms develop in this area, so we're going to continue to watch that as we go down the road. Like I said, the hail risk isn't as substantial. We just have a 15% hail risk farther to the west, not really including parts of the Dixie Alley. We could see some isolated hail makers in northern Louisiana, farther to the north and west in parts of Louisiana. We could definitely see some larger hail makers there. Not expecting much above 1 inch, but we could definitely see some bigger supercells developing a larger hail risk up to ping pong ball, or maybe even larger towards golf ball sized hail. And I'll definitely be monitoring for that. All right, let's take a look at what the radar is looking like right now. You can see we now have this just came out, we now have a tornado watch in effect for parts of southeastern Oklahoma, parts of eastern Texas, northwestern Louisiana, and parts of Arkansas. This just came in just now, so we now have a tornado watch. Farther out to the north, we have a severe thunderstorm watch encompassing much of western Arkansas and parts of southern Missouri for the threat for some damaging winds and hail. But we are starting to see the increase in the threat for tornadoes. You can see in the mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center, they did issue a pretty high intensity line for tornadoes, 100 to 130 mile per hour tornadoes possible. I'm surprised they don't have a hatched risk for a threat like that. We are expecting some more supercells developing as there is more clear air down farther off to the south. We were expecting initially the bigger severe threat to come farther off to the north, parts of central and northern Arkansas and southern Missouri, but there is a lot more cloud cover than originally expected. We definitely still will see the potential for rotating supercells up here farther off to the north with some of these initial supercells, but these won't be long lasting. It's going to be a small window for these to develop enough spin to produce tornadoes. But there definitely is the potential, and without that, there is going to be damaging wind potential. We already have special weather statements in effect all up and down this line, as it will continue to intensify as it moves closer to us in the Dixie Alley. But you can see already parts of Louisiana already getting involved. We got a lot of convection starting to build up here in parts of Texas, where we have a lot of very warm air, very high dew points, some areas in the 70s for dew points right now. And we also have a lot of clear air to work with here. We could definitely see some rogue supercells producing some tornadoes. And there is going to be the bigger window farther down to the south for tornadoes. And I think the bigger damaging wind threat is also going to be down farther off to the south. We were expecting it farther off to the north, but I do expect it to really be pretty intense down farther off to the south now as we continue through the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours tonight. And eventually, this will start to move into areas like Mississippi and Western Tennessee, and then eventually into Alabama later as this line starts to weaken down the road. As I mentioned, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in parts of Missouri, parts of Oklahoma, and Arkansas for the risk for some damaging winds, large hail, and the potential for a spin-up tornado or two. But we also have now a tornado watch down here. I don't have the graphic pulled up at the moment. But we do now have a tornado watch in effect for parts of the Dixie Alley, including parts of northwestern Louisiana. So just keep in mind, we will have the potential for some tornadoes as we go throughout the day today. All right, here's a look at what this looks like right now. The severe weather from satellite imagery looks like. You can see we got this big blow up of convection ongoing across the northern part of this low pressure system. But down here, farther off to the south, we have more clearing and a bigger window for some supercells to develop with the very moist environment we have. Don't get me wrong, we definitely will see some level of supercellular activity in parts of northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. We definitely will see some supercells, at least with the threat for some damaging winds and hail, but we could definitely see an isolated tornado with that as well. Here's a look at a closer view of satellite imagery right now. You can see that clearing farther off to the south that is going to allow for some stronger storms to develop. More convection farther off to the north that will lead to a higher flash flooding risk. But we can definitely see some severe weather, some level of tornado risk pan out the farther you go off to the north as well with that risk. So here's a look at the future radar. You can see this is what it's looking like right now. We are starting to see a few showers and thunderstorms pop up ahead of these storms. These will start to gain intensity, and if we see them gain intensity enough and start to become their own storm ahead of the line of thunderstorms, if they can develop a really neat structure before this line of thunderstorms overtakes them. Just remember, this line of thunderstorms is going to gain speed as well as this gaining intensity really fast as we go throughout the afternoon. You can see this will continue to move off to the east, gaining intensity. We will, like I said, on the latest models, we are seeing more of a more scattered in nature supercells down farther out to the south that will promote a window for tornadoes as we go into the afternoon and evening as the lower level jet kicks in. And then after we get into around 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, we will see a strong line of thunderstorms, likely with strong damaging wind gusts all up and down this line throughout parts of Arkansas, moving into Mississippi by this point with some strong damaging wind gusts, 60, 65, 70 miles per hour, and then possibly an isolated damaging wind threat farther off to the north in western Tennessee and parts of western Kentucky as well. And then this will continue. It will eventually weaken, but this is going to remain pretty strong well into the night. 2 a.m. This is the storms moving into parts of Alabama, central Tennessee, finishing in northern Mississippi, but throughout central Mississippi, we could continue to see some of that line of thunderstorms impact. And we will still continue overnight to see this moisture build up ahead of it. Some cells start to develop. We could definitely see a rogue tornado threat well into the night, and then storms continuing across parts of Louisiana as well around 2 a.m. Just be aware, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings because this is going to continue well into the night and then eventually start to weekend as we go into the morning. But there still will be some opportunities for some damaging wind gusts into parts of Alabama and eventually into the panhandle of Florida. And this is why we are seeing this level of severe weather. We have a lot of moisture from the Gulf, very high dew points in the 60s and even 70s the farther you go off to the south, ahead of this very dry, cool air behind it. We are going to see some of the first frost and freeze potentially of the season in parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, parts of the panhandle of Texas, and into Colorado and New Mexico, potentially even some flurries if we get some moisture. But that is going to continue as this dry air pushes in behind it as we go into the day tomorrow. You're going to feel a noticeable difference as we go into the day tomorrow, much cooler air. But then eventually, we are going to continue to stay in this active weather pattern. It's not going to end anytime soon. You can see, though, with that dry air lingering, we are going to have dew points potentially in the 20s up there in the Appalachian Mountains. It's going to be very cold, but also very dry. And then we are going to continue to see this active weather pattern continue. We're going to see multiple warm bursts from the Gulf, resulting in potentially more severe weather across parts of the Dixie Alley as we go into October 21st. That's just 3 days away. Potentially another severe weather risk. I'm not expecting it as substantial as today's, but we could definitely see another shot. And then maybe even a more substantial threat as we go into the middle and end of next week, where we'll have another big blast of warm, moist temperatures from the Gulf and dry air trying to feed in behind that, more severe weather. And that will just continue to see multiple of these waves of warm air and cool air behind that will result in some continuous severe weather as we go into this deeper into fall. Now, the good thing that will come out of this storm system is the abundance of rain. Some areas that have been seeing drought will start to see more heavy rain, hopefully, over the next few days. And that isn't going to end just with today's severe weather. We could likely see this continue as we continue to go out through the next few weeks. Multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms probably won't break the drought, but will cause some relief for some of these areas that haven't seen much rainfall over the past few weeks. So that is one good thing that is going to come out of this storm system as we go throughout this weekend and into the beginning of next week. Well, that is all I have for you. I hope that you guys stay safe in today's severe weather system. It is going to be a dangerous day out there, not expecting anything significant, but make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings and make sure that, friends and neighbors are getting the alert, and just make sure that you guys stay safe out there and continue to watch and continue to stay tuned for more updates.